All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday to you all. Yeshwant, much love back to you. Little Rich 69, what's up, man? Normal Swede, what's up? Yes, we're gonna cover everything now. We'll give you the sauce. And awesome, man. It sounds like you're in some really good positions here. So good for you, man. Samuel S44, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding as always. Much love to you. Quiles, Tony, Dad87, love you guys. Thank you for being here. Appreciate the kind comments, guys. Lost X, welcome in, my friend. Okay, 70K. I mean, it's possible we do go up into the 70s. I don't think we're going to go too high up into the 70s, but we can talk about all that coming up here. Mr. Wreckage-chun, welcome in, man. Yeah, I think down is going to be... Well, I'll discuss all that coming up here very, very shortly. ZMX, welcome in. Crypto Shaw 256, Liberty and Trust. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for modding ZMX. Michael Mitzal, Lumbakti, and Take No Risk. Thank you. And thank you for the kind comment, Take No Risk. Appreciate that, man. Okay, guys. So here's the thing. Bitcoin on Friday, we were coming down to our value area low of the range where we know that this was a pretty big support level down here. We had a weekly down here. We had our value area low down here. We had a macro golden pocket down here. And we were looking for a potential end of an impulse, a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulse. After that impulse ends, we're looking for a corrective move to the upside. Generally, you want to see a zigzag correction or a flat, right? In a flat, you have your A wave here. Your B wave takes out the lows of the A wave, and then your C wave takes out the highs of the A wave. I covered this and posted this over the weekend in the Telegram that the most bearish scenario is that we're going to be in a flat and that after the flat is done, you nuke. That is a possibility that could happen on the charts. Now, there is one other way that we could count this impulse to the downside, and it's a bit... Your wave 4 is a bit longer than your wave 2 up here, so we could say this is a 1, 2, all of this was a 3, this was your 4, and this was your 5. And in that case, we still haven't finished our zigzag correction to the upside. So that is why I am looking at the local golden pocket below us for a potential bounce to come up to 69K. I have to say, as far as time goes and your kind of symmetry within the move down, I think that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unfortunately, that might be it. We might have seen the flat and we're going to start to nuke. So what we need to be looking at here, guys, is on this push down today, how we react when we get down to this local golden pocket value area low. Are we seeing any bull divs on the way down there? How does money flow look? Unfortunately, we did confirm some bear divs within this channel, and this morning in the Telegram, I posted about this channel. We were still up within this channel this morning. But if we look at our move up from yesterday night or yesterday afternoon, you know, depending on where you're at in the world, I can count a finished impulse in here. If we're looking at a C wave for a flat, you know, for your ABC flat, you can count a double 1, 2 impulse in here. It is wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, wave 2. This is your big third wave. And then what do you see towards the end? You see the buying exhaustion coming in 4, 5, 4, 5. And now are we in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is just going to be the start of a much larger drop to the downside, right? So there is a really bearish possibility here. I did short earlier today. I did short on the back test right in this area here. I did end up taking a scalp short on that, but I am looking to potentially take some profit depending on how we bounce at this golden pocket or how we come down to this golden pocket. The larger time frames. Let's zoom out to the larger time frames. And we knew that we were looking for we could be in a third wave to the downside, right? Now, there's a couple ways to look at this move from 76K. Obviously, this move down looked impulsive. So because of that, we were looking for a 3-wave corrective move to make a lower high before dumping and taking out those lows at the bottom. We did that last week. But if this is our larger 5-wave impulse, the range ended The corrective range ended at $76,000. Then we're looking really for that overall bigger 5-wave count to the downside, where we could come down and take out the 60K lows and potentially even come down to 54K. It might end at 58, 57K, but we could see this coming down. So we're in the third wave. Let me go ahead and hide this little channel. We're in the third wave down right now. Or there's two ways to look at this move down from 76K. We could be looking at this as a wave 1, a wave 2. We could be in a secondary wave 1, a secondary wave 2, and now we're about to start the big dump, and then you would see your 4 5s coming in at the end as well. Or you could say that this little move up that we saw over the weekend was just your wave 2 within your bigger third wave, right? So we were looking for something like this. And we could say now that we have this price action, your wave 2 is here. Now you're about to see your 3, 4, and 5 come in to finish your third wave. We don't have enough data yet to tell whether this was a flat correction. Now, there is a real possibility of that, and I warned about this in the Telegram. I think it was on Sunday night, or forget exactly when that was. Let me actually pull up my Telegram here. And we are starting to dump down pretty aggressively here, guys, pretty aggressively. I don't really think that we are going to see a bounce at the golden pocket, but we'll just, we're going to keep an eye on that. Okay, that was here. Yeah, that was yesterday evening at 8:20 here. Yesterday evening, my time, I posted that for you guys about the flat. And it looks like, let me go ahead and hide some of this stuff because it looks like we're coming down to that golden pocket pretty much right now. So I want to see how we react when we get there. I will say this, money flow does not look very good right now. We did confirm bear divs on NAMI. Money flow's just crossing into the red on both NAMI and Market Cipher B. If we do go to the 4-hour time frame, Market Cipher B looks like money flow's about to roll out again. And NAMI is crossing into the red pretty much as we speak here within this 4-hour candle. Big, pretty aggressive dump to the downside here that we're seeing locally right now. And I just want to come in and look at our trend-based Fibonacci extinction here. If this was a wave 1, this is a wave 2 here. And our 1.618 is going to be in the golden pocket. So we should expect some sort of bounce here either way. If it's just going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we continue down 5, or if it's going to be a ABC with an extended C wave. Sometimes those C waves do come to the 1.618 Fibonacci extinction. And then this is going to be our A here, or actually A here, B here, and then we would get a C probably coming up to that 69K area of resistance, which to me is still a very, very important resistance, that 69K area with our pitchfork band of resistance there, the lower limit of that pitchfork band in confluence with the Coinbase point of control. Today, we are rejecting from the Bybit point of control. So this is one of those rare instances where the Bybit point of control is actually working a little bit better than the Coinbase point of control. Let me just go ahead and pull this, and you can see that's kind of where we're rejecting right now at that Bybit point of control. All right, I just don't want to miss this. Let's go on to the low time frames. We're 6-minute chart here. Let's see how, yeah, money flow looks pretty aggressive to the downside, but you can see on NAMI, actually, no, not really even. NAMI was printing some bull divs on the 6-minute, but now this guy, yeah, you could still confirm some 6-minute bull divs here. On NAMI, let's go to our 3-minute chart. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, man. All right, low time frame bull divs coming in could signal a bounce, but the thing we got to worry about, guys, is there's a potential, because it's the 1.618 Fibonacci extinction, there's potential that it could just be a wave 4 bounce. And in that scenario, this is going to be a theoretical fib I'm pulling right now. But if we pull that theoretical fib, and I'm just going to put it right on the 1.618, we are going to be looking between the 382 and the 0.5 for rejection. So actually, like that 0.5, grabbing the liquidity, you can see we're starting to build kind of a little channel in here. So grabbing that liquidity at pretty much $67,000 is going to be a potential rejection zone if we bounce from 66.1. And we could even look at taking a scalp here. We could even look at taking a scalp long here if we come down, bounce, stop somewhere below that low, and we're looking to target that 0.5 Fibonacci, grabbing that liquidity. I mean, that's a really nice little scalp trade there for a wave 4. And you could leave some open just in case it's going to be the ABC, and we are going to come up to $69,000. Okay, let me check the chat here. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Glasshopper77, welcome in, my friend. And I was actually live this morning with Jason as well, and I saw that you won, so congratulations on winning. I think you won $200 or something like that. Congratulations on that, my friend. That's really awesome to see someone who deserves it getting it. Want to hear a joke? A colleague at work told me, based off Wyckoff, you could argue we are not in a bear market. I mean, I guess it depends on what type of, maybe he's thinking we're in a reaccumulation, or, accumulation still kind of bear market vibes. But Jojo, good evening to you. R Pink, much love to you, man. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding as always. Yeah, that scalp plan right there, guys. That's a decent scalp long opportunity, but I want to see the bounce first. Like, I'm not just gonna, because this wave 3 could keep falling all the way through it. It doesn't have to stop at the 1.618. It's a common area for it to stop, but it doesn't have to stop there. So I would be looking at potentially taking that scalp long opportunity, and even say we do come down here, we bounce. Even if we start to reject from the 382, I'll pull 50% of it out and then probably let the rest get stopped at break even. But there's a very, very real possibility, guys, that the move up that we saw from yesterday evening is over with, and that we were in a flat correction that occurred over the weekend, that our impulse down ended here. We saw that A, B, C flat. There's your flat correction. And everyone thinks that we're going shooting up way higher, and now we're about to nuke down. I do not, there is some concerning things, like Lost X was saying, there is some concerning things about the liquidity that we do have above us. You can see coming up into, well, first off, above today's highs, we do have some liquidity resting up there. But if we go to our Model 3 heat map and we look at the last couple weeks of price action, let's just go to the 2-week chart here. You can see that coming up into that 72K area, which was the rejection we had at the beginning of last week. I think it was last Monday, right up here at 72K. Yeah, last Wednesday, excuse me. We do have a lot of liquidity resting up above these highs. And guys, there was a lot of people looking to short this up here, because remember, we had the liquidity for Monday. We rejected from the upper band on Monday. So it was like an intra-week liquidity grab. And there was a lot of people that took that short. And they were looking to take profit either at the 67.8K daily level in that 886, or down, really the real key support was down in this zone. And we did get a decent bounce from that zone. It was a scalp long opportunity. I did enter long. I think after I ended the stream on Friday, I let you guys know in the Telegram, I entered the long. We were breaking out of a channel. We were in a little channel here, and I entered right in here on the back test. Now, I did take a small profit on that once we started grinding down in here, and then I got stopped out on the rest. So it was a very, very small win. Pretty much a break-even trade. I mean, it wasn't break-even. I made a little bit of profit, but and I did not take this yesterday because I was busy. I was busy with, I guess, things going on in the family, dinner, stuff like that. But let's see if we can't get a little scalp long that could turn into something bigger here, or if we're going to start to nuke right now. Either way, I expect at least a small bounce from this golden pocket and this 1.618 Fibonacci zone. But as we were grinding up in here this morning, we started to see those bear divs coming in. We saw this, guys. I talk about this so much, that classic selling exhaustion, or yeah, in this case, buying exhaustion, you know, and then you get towards the ends of the moves, you start to get that selling exhaustion that occurs. Now, it doesn't always play out. Sometimes you continue to dump, but generally once you start to see that choppy overlap within like a channel-y structure, sometimes it can be a little bit more wedges, but once you start to see that, and especially if you're seeing bear divs on the chart as that's forming, that's when you really know, hey, we could be about to dump here. We could be about to see a bit of a reversal, or at least a scalp opportunity in a scalp trade. And now we just wait. Like, I'm really interested to see here. I do not want to miss this opportunity because we are grinding down. And even now on the 5-minute chart, you can kind of see we're grinding and we're starting to develop that little channel towards the end. So if we can continue to chop here, maybe another 15, 20 minutes, hit into that sucker, and let's see if we can't get a little bit of a scalp long opportunity here. Didn't the last test in 2022 result in a very impulsive move? Spiritual Berserker, welcome in, by the way. And last test, I'm not sure which test you're talking about exactly, but I mean, we did get some pretty impulsive moves, definitely in 2022. And if you're talking about the last test of the range, like the bigger range, so in this case, that 76K high, you did get a pretty impulsive move down afterwards in 2022. Also, you don't even have to go back to 2022. You can look at our last range. Let me zoom out to the 4-hour chart. You can look at our last range within this bear market, this range right in here between 80 and 98K. That kind of last hurrah, we saw a lot of people longing, specifically in this zone and in this zone here. A lot of people longing. You get that rejection, and then you get the big aggressive drop to the downside. This was very aggressive though, guys. This was very, very aggressive, even for Bitcoin. So I'm expecting this drop not to be quite as aggressive as that one, but let's see how it plays out. We still are within the value area, so nothing has changed too much, guys. The only thing that has changed is your bias. My bias personally has shifted a little bit more bearish, just based off of the way that we rejected at 76K and the way that this push down looked impulsive. If your first move down looks impulsive and then your second move up looks like a 3-wave corrective move, then it is far more likely that you are going to continue the impulse to the downside. And last week, what we were talking about all last week is how that rejection from 72K could bring us down to 66K for our wave 1. We could then expect a bounce in a wave 2. I was actually looking closer to 69K, but then we could see that wave 3, 4, 5 to finish your third wave. And this is, I've been pretty consistent on laying this out to you guys all last week, that was the highest probability for me. It's starting to play out, guys. It's starting to play out pretty nicely here. All right, let me just zoom in very, very tightly here. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Now we are seeing some bull divs on the 3-minute chart on NAMI. You do have slight bull divs right now on the 3-minute chart on Market Cipher as well. And one thing I do like is this is starting to round off in here on Market Cipher. And you can see on NAMI, we're even trying to cross up into the green here just a bit. So we haven't actually come down and hit the golden pocket yet. So I'm not looking to long quite yet. Depending on how we get down here, depending on how we react here, we can set our long position. So let's just look at this real quick. On this long position, our risk is 0.14%. So let's just say about 0.2%. That means you could 5x long your entire portfolio. And if you get stopped out, you're only going to lose 1% of the portfolio. And we're going to see, obviously, this is going to change a little bit depending on where where we actually bounce and where it wicks to. I'll walk you through this, guys. If we do get this trade here, we'll walk through how we do the risk management for this. We'll walk through about taking these TPs, because remember, we're counter trend trading here. We've been in a downtrend all day, and also we're in a larger downtrend. So if we're trying to long, we should have the mindset that this is a scalp long that could turn into more. But at first we play it as a scalp long because it's counter trend trading, and we be aggressive with our take profits. There's no need to get super greedy and think this one is going to be the one, right? And even if we do bounce here and come up to 69K, I will be completely out of this around 69K. If I need to look to re-enter, sure, I'll re-enter. If we start to flip 69K, it doesn't matter how big the move is. It matters how tight your stop loss is, as far as your amount of profit, your position size, and your amount of profit. So we'll just, we'll monitor this as it's coming down here. Travi Trades, welcome in, my friend. Every time I hear him say B flat, I think he means a music note. Wow, so you must be a musician then, huh, Travi Trades? We're only one Trump tweet away from our next move. Yes, that's true. And okay, guys, coming to the golden pocket in the bottom of the channel right now. Let's see how it reacts here. I like how we're getting this aggressive move into that. We still haven't quite hit the golden pocket yet. I would expect a little bit of more choppiness, maybe 5-10 minutes more of choppiness in here. Our Pink, thank you so much for helping out with the Telegram. I appreciate that, man. What if we go to 72K resistance from here instead from here? We could still go to 72K because of all that liquidity that's resting up there. But then we would be looking at still, you could, okay, I'll get into that in just a second, because you could still go up to 72K and still have a bearish scenario where you still break 62K. Or 60K, excuse me. Now, you want to see some impulsive price action then. And I'm talking about on, like, you know, a bounce from here, and you want to see some impulsive price action coming to the upside. In that scenario, you would be looking at, you know, maybe this was your fifth wave low, or in a C wave, right? You'd be looking at a ABC flat. You have your A wave down. You would get an impulse here in your C wave. Hold on. How would you look at that? Let me see here. No, because this was impulsive. This was corrective. This does look impulsive here. Unless you're looking at a larger flat correction where after your first impulse ended, this was your first impulse. So after that first impulse ended, you could be looking at a larger flat correction. So this being one, this was a three-wave corrective move. So three-wave corrective move, you could say three-wave corrective move, and then you would want to see another three-wave corrective move coming up to that 72K area and taking that liquidity in sort of a WXY flat correction. But it honestly, what I would say is that's far, far less probable than seeing the impulse continue to the downside. Okay, I just want to get in here. Let's see if we are going to hit that golden pocket and going to see that bounce. We barely front ran. Let me get rid of that for a second. We barely front ran that golden pocket just now on that little 3-minute candle. Let's see if we can't continue this chop. You can see within this very small channel, the midline was holding as support, and now it's acting as resistance in here. So let's see if we can chop in between this until we can get down. 15 more minutes or so. These impulsive dumps make me wonder what Black Swan is going to play out. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Generally, the Black Swan is kind of like that capitulation thing that occurs that kind of ends the bull market, right? Remember COVID back in the day, or FTX after that. So it's generally towards the end of a bear market where those big Black Swans play out, and it ends up dumping pretty more aggressive than people think, but that's also kind of your big buy opportunity for the next cycle. If you have the wherewithal to, you know, buy when there's greed or buy when there's fear and sell when there's greed, you know? So, Lance Revo, welcome in, man. No Black Swan, but Black Skies. Yeah, maybe both. Maybe both. Vic Surfer 618, greetings to you, man. Appreciate you being here. I'm in a liquidity pool in ETH 1650 to 2300. In Neth, I'm not sure if you mean Neth or in ETH. Yeah, let me know. Are you talking about Ethereum? You're in a liquidity pool. Now, a liquidity pool, are you pairing it against USDT? Are you pairing it against... So you'd have to give me a little bit more information on that. But if you're looking at... If you're wanting to look at TA on ETH, we can do that for sure. Where's the GP on Bybit? Okay, let's go check that GP out on Bybit. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. So it looks like the GP on Bybit is going to be right on that value area low. Yeah, nice. 66,124 to 66,020, or let's say 021, right at the Bybit value area low. And actually, this is nice, guys, because we did reject the POC. So when you reject the POC, you expect to move down to value area low at the very least. If this is going to be it, then you see you have a nice three-wave corrective move here, but your C wave in that corrective move extended to the 1.618, which does happen occasionally. It's rare for a C wave to go to the 1.618, but that is kind of an expanded correction. That 1.618 target does get hit for a C wave. Now, let's check our volume out, actually, because our volume is going to tell us a lot here. And to me, this is very interesting. When you see your volume decreasing in the third wave, decreasing as the third wave develops to the downside, that means it could be a C wave corrective. And then, but you generally want to end it in a high amount of volume. You want to see the decreasing and then kind of ending on a high amount of volume. Let's check Coinbase charts, because Coinbase volume is what I like to look at. Okay, yeah. Coinbase, the volume is, you are seeing some increases in here as you're pushing down. Actually, yeah, some pretty steady increases. But you can see our biggest spike is actually getting towards the end. So that makes it a little bit more confusing, guys, on if this is a C wave or if this is a three wave. Because look at where our big spikes in volume are coming in right now, towards the end of the move. And obviously you have your wave one, you have your three-wave corrective move here in a wave two. Is this going to be a wave three in here or a wave C? We will check out some other assets, guys. We will have some time to look at some stuff. I do have a pretty hard stop today. I have a hard stop today, but we'll get as much as we can in. Yeah, we'll look at hype. We'll look at some of these other coins in just a bit here. I just want to really see if we can get this scalp trade in. Musician, farmer, trader, theologian. Awesome, man. Travi Trades, love to hear it, dude. That sounds like a very well aspected and well balanced life. Good for you, my man. I want to create an account on BYDFI, but I can't add money because I'm from Europe and we have some regulation about trading platforms. You have another. Yeah, there's a couple other. So to join the Telegram group, unfortunately, no, because that is a partnership with BYDFI. They are kind of the ones that run that for me and help me run it. And they want that to be with them only. Actually, guys, I have some really exciting news coming up about the Telegram. BYDFI is actually going to be creating a Telegram bot where you can link your bot to the BYDFI and do some possible like if I post a trading setup, you can connect the bot to it where it will give certain conditions to activate it and everything. So right now, they just told me about that about a week ago, and I want to do some testing on it privately in like a beta. And then if it does do well, if the bot works the way it likes, then all these trades that I'm taking, and I let you guys know ahead of time, I can actually post it in the Telegram, and the bot I can post it in like the bot settings, and you guys can choose how to enter it with what position, size. Pretty much it would be the same stop loss and everything, same stop loss, same take profit levels. Really cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff to be looking at. So I will keep you guys updated on that. Man, of course we're getting a little bit of a bounce right before hitting that golden pocket. To me, this is yeah, not good. Like if we can see this little itty bitty 1 minute 3-wave corrective move, reject from the midline, and then come down. Okay, Crypto Shot 256, welcome in, my man. 66 182.6, front run by $2 on the USDT pair. Okay, I think you mean the Bybit USDT pair. On Coinbase, we have that golden pocket at 66 157.5, but the 1.618, which is within the golden pocket, is at 66 105. And where's your Bybit value area low? Your Bybit value area low is at 66.045. So I would be looking to come down to like 66.1, guys. 66.105, 66,000. Let's see if we can't get that little bit of a move down still. It is looking kind of nice here. I like this choppiness that we're seeing towards the end. All this choppiness in here. And then we're even starting to chop even more in here, right? So that's something good that we're seeing. And volume is decreasing now as we're coming into that low. As we're coming into that support, I should say. Team B Willow, welcome in. You're not too late. We kind of just started. We're just looking at a possible scalp long opportunity on Bitcoin. Golden Liquidations, welcome in, man. Okay, you're from Europe and you're in BYDFI. Okay, who was that just asked that? So yeah, I guess you can get it on BYDFI. And if you want, I can reach out to my rep on BYDFI and ask him if there should be a problem with that. So I'll do that for you. I'll reach out, and maybe on the next stream on Thursday, we can discuss that. Have I done a bottom prediction yet? Like macro bottom prediction? I have done a couple of them. We actually discussed it a little bit on Friday's live stream. I do think that 54K could be a bottom, guys, or 57. So our next low could be a major low. Our next macro low below 60K could be a major low. Now, another prediction I have is that we could come take out that liquidity at 49K. We have some liquidity at 49, maybe go a little bit lower, like 47. And that could be it. We are going to have to look at how we're coming down as we're breaking 60K. We need to look at the structure as we're breaking 60K. We need to look at where we're at in the impulse. If it's going to be towards the end of the impulse, then there is a very real possibility that 57K or 54K bounces us up with an impulse that can bring us close to all-time highs, or at least up to the golden pocket at 100K. Yeah, we'll look at Solana too as well, for sure. So hype Solana, ETH. Mark Dutch, welcome in, my friend. Much love to you, dude. I have a hard top too. I love it, Mark Dutch. Love it. Evening, man. Good evening to you. We have 1 hour bear divs on momentum. Yes, we do. Sleepy, we have 1 hour bear divs. Actually, we did at the top earlier today, this morning at New York Open. We had the 1 hour bear divs coming up in here. And remember, that was that channel that we were forming. So let me get rid of this small 3-minute channel. And let's just zoom into the, so 1 hour, you can see the bear divs here. Market Cipher B even had bear divs between the weekend Saturday high and the high this morning. So bear divs between that. Money flows now draining out. But if we go to like, let me just go to the 15-minute chart and I can put on that small parallel channel. We had our move up, our aggressive move up, and then you start to see that buying exhaustion come in, right? That choppy overlap. And if you're creating bear divs inside the choppy overlap between all of these highs, that is when you can say, hey, the next high that's made, or, you know, if we break structure and on a lower high, you can short in here, right? So this morning we hit into the Bybit POC and you started dropping. If you didn't get that short, you actually had an opportunity to take a short right in here based off of, we broke market structure bearishly, right? So you were making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And then as soon as you break this low down here, you're, first of all, you're breaking your channel to the downside, but that's a bearish market structure break, right? On the 15-minute chart, you broke market structure bearishly. Because you broke market structure bearishly, there's a greater probability that you're going to put in a lower high before now making another lower low and changing market structure bearishly. So what you can do after breaking market structure bearishly, you can pull your Fibonacci from that high to that low, and you're looking around the golden pocket 786 area for the short. And where do we come up to and reject? First of all, it was your channel midline from the channel we just broke down, but it was also your golden pocket area. So you can look for the short here. And if you really wanted to be, you know, safe with that trade, you short the golden pocket, your stop goes above that local high, and then you target, I would at least be targeting this golden pocket. That's still a 4-to-1 scalp trade right there that you would pretty much be about to win right now, right? You could leave some of it open just in case the big dump is going to occur. And we were in a flat, and now that flat's done, and then now you're going to nuke. So let me get rid of this for now. That was theoretical. Let's see if we get a bounce here, because if we were in an ABC flat, ABC flat, and then now we're going to push down really strongly here, we want to start this push down with an impulse. So 1, 2, your third wave would come to the 1.618 in the golden pocket, but the bounce that we see, we would want to see a corrective move coming up between the 382 or the 0.5 Fibonacci. If we start to push up really aggressively, that's impulsive, and then that would mean maybe this was the low of the impulse from last week, and we're in an A, B, and that C probably coming up to around 69K or so. Three-minute chart. Okay, let's put on our small channel. Here we go. I do like how volume is starting to decrease now. We are about to take out that low. We are about to hit that golden pocket. Let's see. Do we have bull divs on the 1 minute? Yeah, we do have some bull divs on the 1 minute coming in here. Money flow doesn't look the best right now, but we actually haven't hit our support yet. So that's good. And let's go on to the 5 minute. Do we have bull divs on the 5 minute? We do have some bull divs on the 5 minute. We do have some bull divs on the 5 minute. You can also see we have some money flow bull divs on the 5 minute as well. On NAMI. Coming up here. Nice, starting to look rounded bottom on Market Cipher. So yeah, we might get a decent scalp long opportunity. But remember, guys, we're playing this first and foremost as a scalp long trade. So for me personally, and by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advice. But for me personally, if we do get along from this 1.618 Fibonacci extinction and golden pocket support, I will be looking for a take profit. We would pull our Fibonacci from the highs of the third wave to wherever these lows are going to be in the third wave. And I would be looking for those wave 4 targets, specifically this 66.9 area, because you have that liquidity at the start of the channel, right? Of our 3 minute channel, you can see that liquidity there. And so anytime you break a channel to the upside, you'll usually run that liquidity trail. You'll sweep it all. And so that would be really nice to come up into that 0.5 Fibonacci reject. And if we do start to reject there, guys, then we could look to add to the short trade or take a new scalp short trade, depending on how we move up. I'm not randomly setting limits there because there is still a possibility that this is a 3-wave corrective move before we come up to 69K. And this is the beauty of live trading, is we can just look at it as it plays out here. I do see, right now, I do see enough where I would attempt to take a long position if we start to bounce and get the reaction. One thing I don't like what we're seeing right now is we are starting to chop and front run that golden pocket. When you see this choppiness, right, front running the golden pocket, sometimes you'll do this straight through it. So I would like to see us in the next 15, 20 minutes come down and hit the golden pocket. If we do see a move up here, especially like to the top of the channel first before dropping down, there is a possibility we could drop through it. I'm not sure. Let's actually look on Binance. Are we hitting any of the golden pockets on Binance? Let's go to the 30-minute chart. No, not quite yet either on Binance. So all of the exchanges pretty much are front running that golden pocket. And I just want to look at this as well. Let's get rid of this one. Yeah, the next area, if we lose this golden pocket area, that 786 Fibonacci is where this little range value area low of this corrective move. You could even pull this from the bottom here. Come on, Bitcoin. Are you just going to get boring on us right now? You can hear me breathing harder and faster. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Daily candle looks really ugly. Yeah, especially if we close it like this, that daily candle is going to be pretty bad. Probably a bearish engulfing candle. Not quite yet, but I mean, look at that wick on the daily. Yeah. I really did want to come up to $69,000, and there is still a possibility that we're going to bounce at this golden pocket and see that. Yeah, awesome, Glasshopper. I'm glad that you won. I'm glad that you're happy to be part of the group too. I'm thinking we get a little bit of a bounce now. It could give us a bull divs on the 12 and 24 minute. Let's see. We have bull divs on the 5. Do we have it on the 12? Not, I mean, it's more like a double bottom on the 12 right now, but you do have the 2 green dots pretty close by. Nami's not really showing bull divs either, and I generally like to see Nami have some bull divs there. And then another thing is, remember, even if you do have a drive of bull divs on Market Cipher B, money flow, a bearish money flow will always overpower a single drive of bull divs. I shouldn't say always. I should say a majority of the time will overpower a single drive of bull divs. So because we're seeing bearish money flow on the 12-minute, because we're seeing bearish money flow on the hourly, this is what's, and you can see how bearish the money flow looks on the hourly on both NAMI and Market Cipher B. And we just confirmed bear divs on NAMI on the 1 hour, and then even more regionally on Market Cipher on the 1 hour. Because of that, I do have the mindset that this bounce from this golden pocket is going to be a wave 4 bounce to bring us up to that 67K zone before ultimately dropping us to make new lows. So for right now, I would have to classify, and I don't like how we're seeing this bounce right now, guys. I do not like this. I would have to say that it's a greater probability to me that this was a wave 1, a wave 2. We're in our wave 3 now. And if we do get the long from here, it's just going to be to sweep that liquidity in a wave 4 before coming back down in a wave 5. But yeah, you can see here on the push up from last night, 1, 2, 1, 2, because there's overlap between the highs and lows here. So you have to call it a double 1, 2 impulse. This is your big third wave. And then here's your 4, 5, 4, 5. Now that impulse is done. That could have been your C in the flat. And now we're starting an impulsive move to the downside. Wow, are we really going to front run this golden pocket? I don't like this little bounce that we're seeing right before. Yeah, not quicker. Welcome in, my friend. We have been front running a lot lately. There's times with Bitcoin where it does that. CVD, thank you. Let's check our CVD out. CVD here. By the way, earlier today, guys, we were seeing some bearish CVD absorption in this area, and I let you guys know about it in the Telegram. But you can see from the high this morning, we were seeing lower highs in the price action. We were seeing those higher highs in the CVD, and it was on an open interest increase in open interest. So those bearish CVD absorptions gave us that drop. And remember, the bearish CVD absorptions were just to take out those lows. That was the target. I let you guys know about that ahead of time. But right now, no, you're not really seeing too much. I mean, if anything, we're seeing some local bearish CVD absorption within this channel, kind of. From this low, you can see you're going higher here, yet you're going lower here. So maybe we're going to reject from the top of that 3-minute channel at like 66.5 and then come down to hit our golden pocket. Let's see if we get that. This little move up to, if you want to be optimistic that this scalp long is going to play out, then maybe this little move up is just giving us a little bit more time to put in another drive of bull div on like the 5-minute chart or the 3-minute chart. That's your optimistic look at it. Your pessimistic look is that this little bit of a bounce, now we're going to nuke through. Splashfire Films, welcome in, man. Good to see you in here. And also CJ, welcome in as well. So is it 73K first or 57K first now? I believe 57K is going to come first. 58, 57, you know. I believe that we are going to make new lows before coming up to 73K. Okay, try to add USDC instead of USDT. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you could add USDC and then just switch it over to USDT once you get in the exchange. Sure, you're gonna have to pay some like, you know, fees on that, switching USDT into USDC. But I've actually had to do something like that before as well. And Splashfire Films, God bless you as well, man. Thank you for being here. The longer we range, the more brutal the dump. I agree, dude. Lost X, I agree with you completely. I think that, you know, in these bear markets, when we see these ranges, very similar to the range that we saw between 80 and 98K, a lot of people were getting really, really bearish, or really bullish, excuse me, in these last two moves up. And this range was lasting quite a long time. in bear markets historically, you see these ranges with right towards the end, you get these impulsive moves and everyone says, oh my God, new all-time highs coming. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then the trap plays out every single time. You get the aggressive dump from it. And once again, within this range, that our current range that we've been in for about 7 weeks now, especially in this specific move, I remember there was a lot of long positions. If we look at your CVD and open interest back then, there was a lot of longs coming in this little chunk. And really from this low here, we saw all of this, a lot of long positions coming in. And people were genuinely thinking that we were going to break up to new all-time highs. And it's like, or they were thinking I saw a lot of people in, for instance, on Andy's chat, and I love Andy so much. He's such a good trader. But some guy kept saying, hey, we're going to go to 105 by the end of the week, by Thursday. I think that the guy was like, and Andy was like, I don't know about that. It's like, I had to agree with Andy there. Yeah, I mean, we're getting a little bit of a bounce here. Tank Wiper, no worries, man. Thank you for joining, though. Thank you for popping in here. So you are expecting low 60s in the coming days. I don't know if it's going to be in the coming days like this week, but I am expecting probably within the next month, I am expecting low 60s or so. Because once again, guys, we're looking at the bigger move down. Let me just hide some of this local stuff here because it looks like we're getting a little bit of a move up. If we're looking at this move here was impulsive, followed by a corrective move, 3-wave corrective move. So now the highest probability is that we are in a 1-2, and then this is going to be the start of a third wave that could bring us sub 60K. And then you could see a 4 and then another 5 to come down to 57, 58 to end it. Or it could extend like I showed you guys on Friday. The third wave could come all the way to 57. We could get a bounce in the fourth wave and then see our fifth wave come down to 54. 54 is also an important support. Wait, where was that? Here. 54 is also an important support level because we do have a lot of confluence down there, right? We have our 1.236 Fibonacci extinction. If we're looking at this being a WXY correction, right? You have your trend-based Fibonacci extinction from your start of W to the end of W to the end of X. Your 1.236 comes down to around 56.5, 57,000. And then if we're looking at the Y wave, which is in process right now, that 3-wave zigzag and a Y wave, if you take the trend-based Fibonacci extinction from the start of your Y wave to your corrective move within the Y wave to potentially the end of the Y wave, you can see coming down to the 0.618, which is the minimum target, is around that 50. Sorry, that's around 57. So 50, 57, 58 is a big level. And then at 54,000, let me get rid of some of this. At 54,000, we have the bottom of our big pitchfork. It's also the weekly level down there. And then if we look at the range, we had 2 ranges primarily of the past 2 years we wanted to pay attention to. This was our 2024 range. It was our balance area within 2024 and where the market found fair value for Bitcoin through most of 2024. Trump wins the election. We break up. We form a new balanced range that considered the new fair value. That was the whole year of 2025. We had this range. And the market now considered the fair value of Bitcoin at higher prices. But when you start to lose this upper range, you will often come back and test the fair value for your lower range. And we actually tested the undervalue. That's why this white line is here. That was the value area low of this range. And so when you fall back and find reacceptance back within your old range, so now the market is now saying, hey, we're no longer valuing the fair value for Bitcoin at 2025 prices anymore. We're now valuing the price of Bitcoin at 2024 prices. And we're pretty much back inside of that range. If we pull that volume profile and we look at this volume profile, you can see that we're pretty much underneath the value area high of that range. But on our drop, we dropped right to the value area low, pretty much to the dollar. If you look at it, if I zoomed in and pulled this range a little bit better, you could see that we're right at the value area low of that range. And when you fall back inside and reestablish price action back within an old range, now what you can do is you can take a new range, combining the price action of your old range, your bottom range, your upper range. You can combine them together, and if you look at where's that value area low coming in, it's coming in at the bottom of the pitchfork. It's coming in at our weekly level. So that 55 to like 53.5 is going to be a really, really key support if we lose 58, 57. And just as far as pitchfork trading alone goes, this pitchfork is a multi-cycle pitchfork that's been highly, highly respected. Get rid of that. And I really do think that we are going to see some sort of reaction at the bottom of this pitchfork, just by how special it has been for almost this entire bull run, right? Your 2024 all-time high at the pitchfork midline, you correct down to hit the lower band, you break up, you try to break the midline that time, but you create this distribution range up here. You distribute down, and then you create one more distribution range at the top, with your final all-time high rejecting pretty much perfectly from that pitchfork midline. Okay, let me zoom back in here and see what is going on with Bitcoin. Wow. Okay, we're starting to break that. Geez, what a shame that is, huh? No, it would be nice to see it fake out right here and then roll back down. But I'm a little bit more hesitant to take a scalp long now from this area because we are pushing up so much here. We might not get that good double bottom now. Okay, let me scroll in the chat. I think I'm behind. Don't come in here and get us sick. When do you confirm bear divs on the 1 hour? When do I confirm them? When the momentum wave starts to roll over, right? So, or if you have NAMI, it prints the bear sign when it confirms, but you can see how once the momentum wave starts to roll over, it's pretty much confirmed, right? You can see this momentum wave here is a bit higher than this momentum wave here. And we have this high, which correlates to this momentum wave. And we have our new high today, which correlates to this momentum wave. So you have the bear divs, but once it starts to actually, once this wave actually starts to roll down, they're pretty much confirmed now. There is every once in a while where you will roll down a little bit and then you'll get another kind of spike, like momentum thing like that. But for me, this is why I love having both Market Cipher and NAMI, because if Market Cipher is going to do something like this and then pop back up, usually NAMI's already bottomed out and is spiking rapidly, and then you'll see that this happen on Market Cipher B. So that's why when I've learning to use both of them in conjunction has really made me far less susceptible to fake outs. And also, just like I say to you guys, it just helps me get into the better trades and stay out of the less probable ones. And speaking of that real quick, guys, I want to take a second to shout out the partners of the channel. So the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40% discounts if you deposit some pretty large amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you move within those futures markets. And they're offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. If you deposit $100, you can get a 50% deposit bonus. Most exchanges are only giving you a 20% deposit bonus. You can get 20% deposit bonus up to $1,000, and you can get a 10% deposit bonus up to $20,000. So really nice deposit bonuses there. You do have to KYC level 1 to get the deposit bonuses, but that's pretty much with every exchange there is. I've also partnered with BYDFI to create the Telegram community, where I let you guys know throughout the weekend what I'm thinking. I let you guys know throughout the day before my streams or when I'm not streaming, what I'm thinking on Bitcoin. If I enter trades on different coins, you know, gold and silver included, oil now included. I've been trading oil a little bit. So if you're interested in joining that Telegram, it's a private community, but it is free. All you have to do to sign up is join BYDFI using my affiliate link and deposit the minimum deposit of $100 or more. If you want to deposit more to get the bigger deposit bonuses, you can. And once you've done that, once you've signed up and done the minimum deposit, you can click the Telegram link in the description of this video. And in that Telegram verify channel, you type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID, which is going to be right next to your little character guy here. It's probably going to be a string of letters and numbers for you, but /verify and your user ID, and then you'll be in the Telegram. And once you're in, you're in. The second partner of the channel is another non-KYC exchange. I have 2 KYC partners, exchange partners, and 2 non-KYC. So the second non-KYC is Blowfin. Blowfin is offering VIP 1 for 30 days, and if you deposit just $5, you can get a $10 voucher. That's for first 300 users only, but you guys, there's still a lot of users left there. And then they're offering some cool net deposit bonuses, those initial deposit bonuses, 20% on $100, and then various deposit bonuses up to $10,000, where you can get a 10% deposit bonus on a $10,000 deposit. And then the 2 KYC exchanges are MEXC and Bybit. Bybit's offering up to $30,000 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you trade within those futures markets. And MEXC is offering a 10% initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. And then last partner of the channel is going to be NAMI Trading. And NAMI is this momentum and money flow indicator down here, guys. I use it for all my confirmations on my trades. So as we're coming down into a key level, or earlier this morning, as we're rejecting from your point of control on Bybit, I'm looking for confirmations at the levels to see if I have bear divs printing. And actually, NAMI on the 1 hour, or on the 15-minute didn't print those bear divs, but on the 1 hour, you can see as we were making this channel, that buying exhaustion coming in, you can see it confirm bear divs, rejecting from your point of control. And it just gives me those actual confirmations to enter the trades. So for me, it's helped me tremendously in staying out of bad trades that don't have proper confirmation and are less likely to play out, and getting into the good trades or the better trades that are more probable to play out because they do have proper confirmation. I have partnered with NAMI to get you guys 50% off. So if you do want NAMI, you can click the affiliate link in the description below and then use Divine50 in the discount code box while you're checking out. And then you guys can get 50% off on that. Wow, we're breaking out of this channel. That is such a shame that we are front running this. Yeah, we might go up from here and front run that golden pocket, but that's, to me, that's not a good thing, guys. That is not a good thing. So let's look at a different scenario here. I mean, we did end down here on kind of a big spike in volume. So let's just go with the bullish scenario that this was an A, B, C. And now we are about to see one more move up to 69K. We want to see us starting to impulse here. We want to see volume increasing on the impulse. It's not really right now, I would say. The last few candles we're dropping here. What I'm going to be watching right now is if we drop here and backtest this channel and hold, then we might at least come up and sweep this high here. And we could even pull, because the third wave, the most common target is to hit that 1.618, but it doesn't have to. So we can pull from the highs of 3 to the lows that we just created. We can still put on those wave 4 targets and look for rejections around those wave 4 targets still. If we see a move, a 3-wave zigzag move, so we're getting this, if we pull back and then we come up to that 382 in a 3-wave move like this, then you could look for a short, at least even just for a double bottom, to see if that's going to be the end at that golden pocket. Actually, this morning on Solana, I knew we were going to dump because this move right here, the bounce from the VWAP, 3-wave corrective move, lower high, 786 golden pocket area. We dumped. I actually got out of my long trade. I was long on Solana, and I got out of it once I saw us starting to reject here. I got out of it. And Solana did reject from that POC. Here, we'll go ahead and go into some of the altcoins. Just get this. All right, Ethereum. We'll go through Ethereum really quickly. Let me go back to Bitcoin. I want to set an alert real quick on our 382 area. And I want to set an alert in that golden pocket. And we'll come back to Bitcoin in between each of them. I'll try to go pretty quick here. But pretty much, long story short with Ethereum is we're drop testing to back test that pitchfork band. And you can see it's 2 pitchforks. So this dark green line is our larger pitchfork, our larger bullish pitchfork. So we have 2 pitchforks we're watching. Within this 7-week long range, and let me just hide this volume profile for a second. Within this 7-week long range, we're looking at this bullish pitchfork here. And then within a much bigger pitchfork, we're chopping within this lower band of the pitchfork. We've now, over the weekend, we kind of lost that pitchfork. We were chopping underneath it for a majority of the weekend. And now we've been able to impulse back up. And now we're trying to flip it into support again to continue to work up locally. And then if we turn on that smaller pitchfork, so you can see we're bouncing on the bullish backtest of the bigger pitchfork band. And this is chopping with inside the bigger pitchfork band for about 7 weeks in and around it. But if we look at our smaller bullish pitchfork here as well, you can see this low that we just made was actually kind of an important low. 2 major pitchforks coming together at that spot. Was that? That probably wasn't. Then that's our 0.5 Fibonacci as well. The golden pocket actually would be nicer to come down there because it would be the bottom of the pitchfork band of your smaller pitchfork band, and it's a golden pocket. And I still do think this midline up here is going to be an important local resistance. We talked about that on Friday's live stream. I believe that's where your value area high of your range is. Yeah, your value area highs there. You do have a golden pocket there as well. And it's your pitchfork band. So golden pocket, pitchfork band, Value area high. Let's throw that like in here now. And then I believe there was also a naked daily point of control in there. Now, of course, this morning we're rejecting from this naked daily point of control. And let's check to see if we have any new naked daily points of controls. Let me go on to the 1 hour. Nothing really. This is from today, so we're not going to mark that out yet because today's not over with. Pretty interesting here how NAMI looked on Market Cipher, or excuse me, on Momentum. Look at all these bear divs that we were confirming. So as we were coming up and rolling over here, higher highs throughout all of this, lower highs throughout all of this. I mean, that was a pretty nice multiple drives there. And then you even had your regional bear divs between the Saturday high and the Monday high, just like Bitcoin on Market Cipher. Another thing that I told you guys about on Market Cipher, remember when these two the stochastic RSI and the RSI come together as one, that is when it starts to get really overextended, and you generally will see the drop and then they start to fall apart again. So you saw them both come together as one here. That is another confirmation you can look for. And generally you want to see them come together as one when it's close to this upper dotted line up here, the 100 dot mark. What am I looking for Ethereum? Overall, still, I'm looking at Ethereum local supports. Like, I'm just trading this local range right now. Trade the range until it breaks. But I would still look for a short around that $2,100 area, you know, 2,100 to maybe like even 2,120 where the pitchfork midline is, because that's going to be your golden pocket, your value area high, your naked daily point of control, and your pitchfork band. There's a lot of resistance in there. Now for supports, in some ways, over the weekend, you can see we chopped in and around this small pitchfork band, the bottom pitchfork band, dropped to grab liquidity from Friday's low. Even on the 1 hour chart, it was just a giant wick past it, but no daily candle body closes below that liquidity. So an aggressive liquidity grab, and we're breaking above that weekend chop within the pitchfork band. We're breaking above it, and now we're trying to flip it to support. So if we hold here, I expect to come up to here. If we might drop a little bit lower, especially if Bitcoin drops a little bit lower. The golden pocket at like 1988 could be still a support level, local support level, because it is your golden pocket and it's at the bottom of that pitchfork band. If you're going to look for a long from this 1988 area, you want to zoom in on like the 12-minute, the 5-minute, and you want to see bull divs as you're coming down to that zone. Local bull divs in the ebbs and flows down. And we would look, you know, 1, 2, this third wave, I would want it to extend a little bit, actually. Actually, you did hit the 1.618. So that's why we're bouncing where we're bouncing right now. You're hitting the 1.618 Fibonacci extinction target on Ethereum. Now, this could be a wave 4 bounce, right? So let's actually look for our potential rejection zones on Ethereum between the 382 and the 0.5. I like that 0.5 because it's where the VWAP is, right? Earlier today, the VWAP was acting as support. You get a bounce. Now that we've lost it, we back tested it immediately, rejected. Now, if we bounce here and come up, reject, then I would expect to move down to that 0.5 or to the golden pocket, excuse me. So what we could be looking for on Ethereum is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we could still see a bounce here up to golden pocket and then continue down. So you still would potentially have a scalp long opportunity at 1989 to 1993. All right, what is Bitcoin doing? Let's see if we roll over and backtest this channel. Okay, is there ever a group of 3 1-2 waves? Yes, there is. Our pink, that's called the multiple 1-2 impulse or a triple 1-2 impulse. You can have 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then your big third wave, and then you would get 3, 4, 5s as well. So yes, there is. The way to know is if there's overlap between these highs and these lows, then you have to classify them as 1-2s, right? 1-2s, 1-2s, 1-2s. And then what separates and breaks those out is you get your big extinction where there's going to be a gap now. And then your 4-5s generally will have overlap too. Now, I have seen, especially on the higher time frames, there was right after the election, or was it before the election? Let me see here. It was somewhere in here where we saw a bunch of, a good example here, like 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, a lot of people say this was the 3, and then there was a 4, 5, 4, 5 in here. God, there was somewhere on the charts where we saw like overlapping 1-2s. We saw like 4 of them. And then you get that big move up, and then we saw all the chop, and it looked like a rollover, right? But yes, absolutely, R-Pink, you can get that. More commonly, double 1-2s or single impulses, a single 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you do see quite often, actually, double 1-2s, where you get the little bit of chop at the beginning and then the little bit of chop at the end. Buying exhaustion up here. But yeah, good question, man. Absolutely, you can. Jesus Save 77, God bless you so much, and thank you for being here. Thank you for the support, as always. Yeah, ZMX, it does seem like we're not going to gold bucket. I think I'm way far behind in the chat. And you suggest 58K is the bottom of this whole trend from all-time high. Well, CJ, that's really hard to say if 58K is going to be the bottom. I say there's a chance it could be. 58K and 54K, there is a real chance in my mind that that could be the bottom. But we kind of have to have more information as we're coming down to it. Another bottom that I'm looking at, once again, guys, is the liquidity below 49K into this midline, right? This multi-cycle channel in here, that 49K area of support. And then if we look at the total market cap, the reason why is at the total market cap at the bottom, that same support level of that liquidity from 2024's range. If we do drop aggressively here, start to see that 5-wave move down, right? Coming down into the bottom, grabbing that liquidity into the bottom of the pitchfork could give you a nice move up. Wow. We really are going to front run this golden pocket, I think. Okay, 6 minute starting to look pretty decent. Yeah, 6 minute was starting to. We are printing a hidden bear div here, guys, on NAMI on the 3 minute. Let's see if we get a 6 minute bear div or a 5 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute too and see if 5 minutes printing anything. Not really. And actually, money flow looks pretty strong here on the 5 minute. We might move up to this 382 right now, or even to this 67K zone to grab the liquidity from this channel. Remember, when you have a channel like this with a little bit of exhaustion and you're starting to break out of the channel, oftentimes you will sweep the liquidity trail that this entire channel has left. So I wouldn't be surprised if we sweep up to there and get the rejection. Let's see how our order flow looks. Let me just refresh this. Yes, on golden liquidations, I know that BYDFI does offer USDC pairs as well. But if you wanted to trade in USDT, you could just swap it and trade in USDT still. Either way, I do think more people trade with USDT than USDC. So sometimes the order book can be a little bit more filled if you're using the USDT pair. I mean, technically it's very, very, very slight. And it's on a decrease in open interest, which is nothing to scoff at, right? But you can see from yesterday's low, let's just throw a vertical line on that. From yesterday's low, your CVD is like right here. So you are kind of making lower lows in the CVD. It's really crappy looking though. What you want to see with bullish CVD divergence is you want to see higher lows on the price action. You want to see lower lows on the CVD, and generally you would like to see an increase in open interest. That's absorption. Now, technically, we are lower in our CVD than when we made that low, but you do have some really crappy ups and downs in here. But you could say, I guess, technically, we have some bullish CVD divergence, not absorption, because our open interest has been dropping during this move. But you do have some bullish CVD divergences that are really ugly looking. Really ugly looking bullish CVD right now. And if that's the case, then maybe this is going to be that ABC up, right, to 69K. A, B, C up to 69K, where we get that rejection from around 69K. I'm not so convinced on that. All of what we're seeing so far in the past hour has relatively been a short squeeze. Actually, we did see some new longs coming in right on the front run of that golden pocket. If we look here at our open interest, and let me get our CVD, you can see as we were chopping right in here, right at the bottom, we saw some fresh longs coming in. Some longs, or new positions opening, excuse me. And I guess they're a little bit longs. It's a mixture of longs and shorts in there, but man, this could have been an awesome stream if we just dropped a little bit more and got that long position. Okay, let's see here. Thank you, R-Pink, so much as always for always posting those links in the chat for me. I really appreciate that. Okay, nice. 1OK by next Thursday is a little crazy. Yeah, it was a little crazy. Do you believe in Monday opening green means the whole week is going to be red? No, not necessarily. I know there's something as false move Monday, but I don't think you can just generally say just because we open green on Monday means the rest of the week is going to be red. I don't think it's as easy as that, or everyone would just counter trade Mondays. Does it have a wick? It doesn't really have a wick. I mean, let's see. Let's go to like the 15-minute chart. Does the 15-minute have a wick? Not really, man. 1 hour does. Yeah, 1 hour has a pretty nice wick here. But once again, I don't like the front run of the golden pocket. And it was not just on Coinbase. Bybit didn't hit it. Binance didn't hit it. If the pitchfork breaks to the downside, what would you do for lower levels? Well, I would look at you're talking about the bigger pitchfork on the total market cap or on Bitcoin? On the total market cap, if that big pitchfork breaks to the downside, I would just be looking at lower support levels, right? You are always going to have lower support levels below. Let me just go to like the 3-day chart. So unfortunately, if this low breaks and this pitchfork doesn't hold, I mean, you do have some consolidation, this range here, which you might hit the value area low of that range and bounce, just like Bitcoin hit the value area low of the 2024 range and bounced. And you would look at the point of control in there as well. But honestly, there is not a lot of structure in here. And this has already been filled in with all this. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot until you get down to like this support resistance flip in here, right? So you might be expecting a pretty decent move down. This pitchfork is already an original pitchfork, meaning you're looking at the most aggressive trend to the downside here. I would just be looking at naked points of controls and range points of control. So you could look at, you know, this, well, that actually might, that point of control in there might be where you bounce, right? If we're going to see something like this, where we kind of bounce right from that point of control, you can see where that low of the pitchfork is at the point of control of that range. And then if you break this, honestly, if you continue to break this down, I would be expecting to come down like to, you know, that's a historic support resistance flip. But honestly, like you don't see these very bearish pitchforks break down like that too aggressively. You might get a fake out and then like get back in it and you do the sideways and down chop and then you break up. But for the most part, you don't really break those down too much. You'll wick it, fake everyone out, and then get back inside. How does our weekly look on this? Yeah, so here's the thing, guys. We printed that weekly green dot a few weeks ago, but you can see the money flow is already looking like it. Well, I guess, yeah, not too much. I was going to say it looks like it's about to roll back over, but this green dot is not giving us what we really wanted to see. And now all of a sudden Bitcoin's just like become a stable coin during the stream, right? In the past 15, 20 minutes. Is the NAMI indicator free? No, it is not. It's a purchase indicator. Our Pink just posted the chat for you right down below. But I do have a discount code. If you want to use Divine 50, you can get 50% off that. I think it's about $740 for lifetime after the discount code. But honestly, man, think of it as an investment in your trading. Like if you were a proper electrician or a plumber, an expert in your trade, you would have the proper tools to help you be successful in that job. So sometimes investing in an indicator that can be really good for you can help you maximize your gains. It's like investing in the tools to do the job. So for me, like I bought Market Cipher, by the way, full price. I think it was what, $1,500. I paid $1,500 for Market Cipher back in 2019. And to me, I knew, you know, it's like, hey, that's a big chunk of change for a freaking indicator. Like I think it's way over expensive, but that's not for me to say or not to say. I still bought it because to me, I said, okay, well, if it can help me win some trades, and Market Cipher's by far paid for itself already for me, you know, because it's helped me get into some really good trades and help me, like Market Cipher for me works so well with distribution ranges, guys. I am telling you that range that everyone in the world thought was a accumulation range. I made a video talk at the beginning of 2025. This range right in here, as this range was forming, and this is where Market Cipher shines with its slower money flow. But as this range was forming in here, we were creating bear divs on these highs in here. We were creating bear divs, but then we had continued drives of bear divs as the range was forming, continuing bear divs, but money flow was draining out as that range was forming. And a lot of people thought this was reaccumulation before more upside. And I came in and made a video. You guys can go watch that video. If you type in like Wyckoff distribution accumulation on my video, my channel, I laid out the 3 scenarios. I laid out a model 1, I laid out a model 2, and I laid out a reaccumulation range. All 3, and I showed how all 3 you could kind of force all 3 to fit. But I also showed you guys at the very end of the video, I said, well, now let me give you my take on it. I think this is distribution based off what we're seeing here. And sure enough, we broke it down and we distributed all the way down to 74K. All right, getting a little bit of a rollover here. Maybe. I've noticed a pattern, Ryan. You usually say this might do YX, and then you say something, but this, yes. Okay, wait. Or this could happen. Often you are correct the first time. Well, Normal Swede, thank you for that. The reason why I give different scenarios, I always try to give my primary scenario first. But as traders, we really don't know what's going to happen, right? We are not trying to predict the price. We are laying out both scenarios so that we're prepared for whichever one happens. So yeah, I often will say what my primary scenario is first. And yes, that does play out, some of the time, or maybe even a majority of the time. But I also want to lay out the other scenario just in case, because we have to be prepared. We're not always going to be right. And so if we're prepared for both scenarios, all we're doing now is waiting for our confirmations. Like, for instance, in this drop right now, this could be an A, B, C to the downside, where now we're going to come up to 69K or higher. Or this is the start of an impulse, a 1, 2, 3. This is going to be a 4 and a 5, and it's going to be the start of a bigger impulse to the downside. What do we know which one it is? No, we don't. But we can mark out the scenario. So if it's the ABC, we want to see ending on a high amount of volume, and we want to start to impulse up here. If it's a 5-wave move, we're going to be looking at that 382 and that 0.5 Fibonacci for potential rejections to go lower. And so I guess you kind of got to know what to look for in both scenarios as well. But I do try to lay out both scenarios, or multiple scenarios, to you guys, so that because it's not about trying to be right all the time. It's trying to figure out what the scenarios are, and just play whichever one comes to be ready. And that's the real key as a trader, guys. A lot of people will get into this like perma bear or perma bull mindset, and then they get stuck. Their ego doesn't let them change based off of what the charts are telling you. And if the charts are telling you one thing, what I do is I like to mark out my levels of interest, whether it's scalp trading or bigger, day trading or even swing trading. I like to mark out those levels of interest, and I like to see how the data develops as we're coming to those levels, because it could, like 57K, 58K, by the time we get down there, we could see some, not proper confirmations as we're coming down here, and we could, maybe nuke straight through it. Actually, that's what happened to us at 72K. Remember, in this big drop here, I was looking to take out 80K. Hold on. I was looking to take out these 80K lows. I was looking for impulsive moves. This one, sorry, not that one. This low here, I was looking to take out this low for weeks, but I was looking to take it out into that 72K golden pocket. There was a golden pocket there. There was the pitchfork band there. There was the prior range value area high there, but we nuked straight through it, and we came to the value area low at 60K. Overall, my premise was right that we were going to reject here and come down and take out the 80K low into support, but the support was a lot lower. I mean, Bitcoin is being really slow and annoying now. We could be seeing here, this could be a little mini flat in here. Actually, it could be a little mini flat in a wave 4. If you get into 1, 2, 3, and then you're kind of getting that 4, you get a 5 up here. So that would potentially give us a very low time frame. Now, this is 3-minute chart, guys. I do not like to count Elliott waves really under 15 minutes. Under the 15-minute chart, they start to get a little messy and start to break down a bit. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, and thank you, Samuel, for posting the links as well. Rated R pink. I love it. Yeah, this looks like a short squeeze. Well, let's see here. Does this look? Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Yeah. Even your CVD is a little bit choppy in here. In a short squeeze, you see CVD increasing because a force closed of a short is a market buy. And you did see, I guess, a little bit of long stepping in here. Just a little bit of longs stepping in there. But it's, yeah, a very small short squeeze. Nothing big. What we're seeing is because we're continuing to see a decrease on open interest, that should tell you the story that this is a weaker move right now. I would really hope that we can get a double bottom at the golden pocket. And guys, I do have to leave in about 15 minutes because I have somewhere to be, really important actually, to be there for my kiddo. But if you do come down and get this, it doesn't look like it's going to happen during the stream now. I still would potentially be interested in the double bottom into the golden pocket and that 1.618. But I have to say now it's less attractive to me. And then if we do see a zigzag coming up to either the 382 or the 0.5, we still could reject from there. And in this scenario, I'd be looking more at that 0.5 because it would grab this liquidity trail. So something like, you know, coming up to that 0.5 there. Yeah, guys, please hit the like button. If you got any sort of insight or insight into the market from this live stream or just enjoyed the live stream at all, please hit the like button for me. Nonsense, welcome in, man. You were without internet for 2 months. Dang, man. Well, I'm sorry for that, but I'm glad you're back, and it's good to see you. Coin operated, much love to you, man. Welcome in. And yes, thank you for smashing up the like button. Election. It's only funny when a Chinese man talks about his election. Yeah, his election, right? Not the erection. The inverse erection is Jason likes to say. Five women in an island for me. Hey, man, that sounds pretty nice. Yeah, we did front run that freaking 1.618. It hit on Ethereum. Oh, let me go ahead and real quickly here go into Solana. I know we wanted to cover Solana. So Solana, let's go to the 1 hour chart. Solana is rejecting that point of control of the range. That is at your 7 week long range. So this big 7 week long range, and we broke that pitchfork. You see this same pitchfork that Bitcoin is still inside of and that Ethereum is still inside of. It broke to the downside on Solana. So that is kind of bearish. And one of the things I will say, let me just hide this pitchfork now. We attempted to get out of the value area high of the range. You can see value area high, a little bit of a failed auction above it. But we really attempted to break up, and there was something up here at 98 that we were actually looking for the rejection at 98. I can't remember if it was a naked daily point of control. It was also kind of this support resistance flip in here. But we rejected, and this moved down 1, 2, 3, and then you have your flat in here, or you could say this is your flat 4, 5, right? So we have a 5-wave move down to start it right in here. Then we got that 3-wave corrective move to reject from your lower high golden pocket. By the way, I shorted that golden pocket, and I know many of you did with me as well. We shorted that golden pocket at 93, and now we are in another move down, and this move down does look to be pretty aggressive. It did not go to the 1.618, I don't think. Let me just let me get rid of that for now, and let's take our trend-based Fibonacci extinction. No, it didn't quite get even close to that 1.618, and you really are in your zone between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236, which, remember, that's your common area for a corrective move overall, between the 1-to-1 and 1.236, and then you could continue up. Now, I don't think that's the highest probability. I do think we're going to continue down. But over the weekend, we did grab this liquidity into your 786 Fibonacci. And you also were losing the value area low of the range. You can see over the weekend for a majority of it, we were holding the value area low. We wicked down below it just to hit the 786 and grab liquidity. And now we are back inside the range. And we pumped up to the point of control. Because we're rejecting the point of control, and we did have the bear divs, and we did have that choppy overlap in here earlier today, we now can look at back testing the value area low because we're back inside of it, right? All of this was on Sunday was a deviation from it to grab liquidity. We're still trading within the volume profile. So if we do come down here and bounce, I will take some profit. I did short earlier today on Solana. I will take some profit there, and we might continue to see ourselves work our way up. It's kind of hard on Solana to count an impulse in here because you know this is very small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that the 5-wave impulse? And then this is a big A, B flat C again. I don't like this as much as I do on Bitcoin. This push down here. But we could still say that all of this is a wave 1 and that we're still going to make a 3-wave move up to the golden pocket in a wave 2 before seeing that bigger crash down in a wave 3. So I'm watching the golden pocket, and we can repull that golden pocket because that wick. Actually, I think that is, yep. That is the proper golden pocket at around 87.92 to 88.39. This naked weekly is old. I left it on there because we were starting to chop around underneath it. You see, we lost it. We were starting to chop underneath it, so I left it on there, but let's get rid of it now. We still do have that fresh naked weekly at 93.8. And you can see we have a naked daily from Thursday that's at our golden pocket. So that naked daily and that golden pocket is really where I'm going to be paying attention to for another potential short trade, right? Because I'm short from rejection of the POC this morning, but if we do bounce from this value area low on the bullish backtest after re-entering back inside the volume profile, it is still likely that we could be seeing all of this as a wave 1. We could get that 3-wave corrective move up to golden pocket in a wave 2 before seeing continuation here, right? Or you would even be looking at this as potentially a double 1-2 impulse. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then your big third wave comes in. And remember, we're looking to take out this low eventually. Unfortunately, with Solana, there's not a lot of support below those lows at, I think the next, naked monthly at 58 is something I was interested in, but all the way down into like the mid to low 30s, there's not too much support. Now, on the other hand, if we can start to break above this golden pocket and this naked daily around 87.5 to 88, I do think that there's actually a real possibility that this was a 3-wave corrective move and that we are going to come up and make new highs. What I didn't like about Solana at the very beginning of this range 7 weeks ago, when we did this move, Solana was one of the few coins that made a higher high here, like Bitcoin didn't. So the whole move started up with a 3-wave corrective move, right? And then we were looking for another 3-wave corrective move down. And then we were looking for a WX, and then we were looking for a Y wave. Well, could you say your Y was some sort of contracting diagonal? And there is still a possibility that this WXY with the Y being a contracting diagonal is done. And now that's why you're looking for downside to take out those lows. So that is still a real possibility. Honestly, this range, as far as Elliott waves go, not only on Solana, but on Bitcoin, on all of them, it's been a nightmare to try to count all this. And there's so many different scenarios within it that it makes it like, so when I see that kind of craziness as far as Elliott waves go and scenarios, I just generally will switch my strategy to more focusing on the volume profile, trading the range until it breaks, and also just looking for liquidity right with inside the range. So there's a couple big things we have. If we bounce at the value area low, which looks like we're kind of trying to, even though we front ran it. Let's see if we front ran the golden pocket too. Yeah, of course we front ran the golden pocket, but it looks like it was right around your 0.5 Fibonacci. No, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, you're bouncing from your 0.5, which is it's one of the common targets in a B wave, right? So if this was impulsive A, you get your B, and then you get your C, that's another small impulse up. I'm just going to be looking, the next resistance area for me would be around that naked daily and point of control, or excuse me, golden pocket, naked daily, point of control. And we are back inside the range. Really, we've been holding the value area low all week with the exception of a small deviation to grab liquidity. Money flow doesn't look the best right now, and we were seeing the bear divs up there. You can see all these multiple drives of bear div coming in. Now, I don't know why Nami is not printing that, but all these higher highs in here, lower highs in here. Money flow is pretty aggressively leaving. Now, unlike Bitcoin, though, and Ethereum, you do not have bear divs here between the Saturday high and your high today. So actually, it looks a little bit better than those coins do. And we can look at even taking this lower range. You're bouncing from the value area low in the 0.5 of this lower range. That's why. I have to say priority right now for Solana is that because we're inside the volume profile and we're kind of trying to hold this back test. I don't know if this back test is completely done with. Usually you'll see a couple candles down here. But let's say we hold this value area low. I would be expecting to come up to this $87,500 to $88,500 area. And I need to make that purple. Yes. Okay. That's exactly why I turned on that pitchfork, because I was looking for the bearish backtest of the pitchfork. Anytime you lose a pitchfork structure like this, this is why we rejected. That was the pitchfork band. I remember there was something there we were looking for. So we were looking around that 98 because it was the pitchfork band up there. Rejected it. You worked your way down. We're losing the pitchfork now. So after losing the pitchfork, you often will bounce from a local support, in this case, the value area low. And now if we come back up here in a three-wave corrective move to bearishly backtest that pitchfork, which also happens to be where a naked daily point of control in your golden pocket is, that is when you could see the aggressive dump come in. And we could be looking at a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a 3 down. And the reason why we'd have to count it as a double 1, 2 is because you would see overlap between these lows and those highs, right? We're already very close to it. We don't see overlap yet with today's high, but it's very, very close. Technically, we haven't invalidated it yet because 85.08 and today's high was like at 84.95. And then what I would be looking at, guys, if we are going to close today's daily candle above the value area low, which is around 81.75, I would expect that we could see that move up to 87.5 to 88.5. If we close the daily candle below the value area low, I think we're going to continue dropping. And we do have that naked weekly point of control below us. Let me just make sure that's still there. Yeah, naked weekly point of control below us at 78. And okay, yeah, that daily's going to be old now, but that daily was with the value area low there, just like Bitcoin had one. Man, all right, so it's a bit of a zone, and I actually kind of do like this support box better. You can see I've actually had this on the chart for like 5 weeks now, 5 or 6 weeks. You do have the liquidity, and remember, within ranges, liquidity is really important, and what's the second most important is volume levels. So you have a liquidity grab into a naked daily point of control support down at like 77 to 76 and a half-ish, let's just say. But at $78, you do have now a naked daily and a naked weekly point of control, pretty much right with each other. And with our low that we made yesterday, is it possible that if we're going to lose this, we do see that one more low into that and see a bounce? I would just, if we close the daily candle below the value area low, even if we bounce here, maybe we're just going to come up to back test it before continuing down and starting to see some exhaustion come in here or something. I'm just trading the range, pretty much trading the range until it breaks. We're back inside the range. Looks like we're trying to hold on the bullish back test. But this morning we did reject the POC. So the short this morning I took from a rejection of POC. It's because we saw bear divs as we were coming up there. The long, I haven't taken a long yet on this, but if we do hold this, I might close out some of that short and hedge along to come up to 88-ish. Okay, let's go to Bitcoin here. Dang it, guys. This stream ended up being a bummer for me. We are just going really low on volume right now. I don't like the way. Honestly, this looks like it wants to break up. This almost looks like a what do you call it? Rising triangle or whatever that would break up here. So let's just keep looking at those levels. The 0.5 at like 67K, taking that liquidity into the 0.5. I'll try to keep you guys updated if I do see a rejection there and I take a short. And if I do short that, I'm going to be shorting that with the intention of taking at least a partial at the golden pocket, because we'll have kind of a double bottom there, right? So something like that. Because we could still see this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, man, if we do hit that 0.5, you got to reject like straight from it, because you cannot see overlap between this low at 67.064. Not even there. 67.035. So you yeah, honestly, even getting that close to it, I wouldn't be comfortable. It wouldn't be a technical invalidation, but I wouldn't be comfortable. Yeah, thank you, R Pink. I appreciate you. You guys, I did have a hard stop like for 3 minutes for me. Thank you, R Pink, for reminding me. I appreciate you guys all so much. I do got to get going. It's important for, to me to be there for the kiddo. And I will keep you guys updated in the Telegram. Also, I'll be live Thursday and Friday. I might try to go live tomorrow. I don't know for sure. So I'll let you guys know, or if you guys see a YouTube thumbnail, then you'll know what's happening. But much love to you all. Trade safe out there. And if you want to join the Telegram, just remember, join BYDFI using my affiliate link. deposit at a minimum deposit of $100 or more, and then click the Telegram and just type in /verify and your user ID for BYDFI, and you'll get into the Telegram. So thank you guys. Have a good one, and I will see